And here's a look at the number of cases in the country due to coronavirus. 52,952 people in the country have been infected. The death toll has also risen to 1,783. Maharashtra remains the worst affected state, with the total cases now reaching 16,758. 651 deaths have been reported in Maharashtra so far. Over to Gujarat, where the number of cases stands at 6,625 and 396 deaths have been confirmed in the state. In Delhi, the number of cases stands at 5,532 and the death toll has increased now to 65. Those are the latest figures as of 6:30 this morning. Here's a roundup also of the top 5 developments that we're tracking on the coronavirus outbreak in India this morning. MNS chief Raj Thackeray did not wear a mask while attending an all-party meeting. He was seen holding onto a handkerchief. When asked about it, Raj Thackeray said he didn't wear a mask because everyone else was wearing one. In an attempt to attract more businesses amid the pandemic crisis, Uttar Pradesh government has issued an ordinance exempting existing and new industries from 3 labour laws for the next 3 years. According to the Yogi government, these exemptions will help bring new investors to the state and help existing industries to function smoothly. With no response from the state government on increasing the stipend amount, Karnataka Resident Doctors Association held a stipend candlelight protest across all government hospitals in the state. From Mandya to Bengaluru, resident doctors came out to speak out and showed their displeasure in a peaceful manner. The West Bengal government has given permission for liquor sale. Mamata government has decided to start online booking and home delivery of liquor via the West Bengal State Beverages Corporation. The e-retail sale allows people over the age of 21 years to place orders through the website after getting themselves registered and providing all necessary identification details. The Uttarakhand government has allowed people to visit Haridwar for rituals and for immersion of ashes. Only 2 people will be allowed to travel from a family. This decision was taken during a cabinet meeting. This morning, our focus is on the state of Maharashtra, which remains the worst affected state in the country with over 16,700 positive cases. Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope in a briefing said that in the last 24 hours, the state reported 1,362 new COVID cases and 43 deaths. The total number of cases in the state police department has also gone up to 531. The state's capital, Mumbai, continues to remain the worst affected with over 10,000 COVID cases. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray held a virtual all-party meet to discuss the situation in the state. Meanwhile, 77 inmates and 26 jail officials have tested positive for COVID-19 in Mumbai's Arthur Road jail. All those infected have been shifted to the GT Hospital and the St. George Hospital. The state government is now turning open spaces in the city into quarantine centres. This includes parking lot of the posh Mahalakshmi Racecourse, the Nehru Science Centre and the NSCI Stadium.
हम तो सरकार के साथ खड़े हैं, सरकार को पूरी मदद कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सरकार को सूचना देना यही कंस्ट्रक्टिव अपोजिशन का काम है और कई गलतियां होती है तो गलतियां सरकार के नजर में लाकर देना वो हम कर रहे हैं।
Now, after a video showing COVID patients in Mumbai hospital lying next to corpses wrapped in body bags went viral, a probe has been ordered by the BMC. The BMC has constituted a committee to probe the video and the report will be out in 24 hours. The video was shot inside Sion Hospital and triggered widespread outrage with the BJP training guns at the ruling Maha Vikas Aghadi government. Defending the government, Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope attempted to put onus on the families of the deceased, saying that in some cases the kin take time to go ahead and claim the bodies. He said that there are guidelines in place, but sometimes it does take time. The minister said that the health officials have given instructions to give the bodies in less than 30 minutes. Let's get you the latest updates on the state of Tamil Nadu, which also reels under the coronavirus pandemic. The state's COVID-19 tally is touching the 5,000 mark. This after 580 new cases were reported in 24 hours. 2 fresh deaths were also reported in Tamil Nadu in the last 24 hours, taking the death toll to 37. The surge in cases have been linked to Chennai's largest wholesale market in Coimbatore. So far, over 1,300 cases in the state have been linked to the market. Increased testing rate has also been a factor in the rising cases. On Thursday, over 14,000 tests were conducted in Tamil Nadu. Capital Chennai is the worst affected in the state with 2,644 coronavirus cases, out of which 316 were reported in the last 24 hours. Also getting you the latest updates from Delhi, where the number of COVID positive cases is on a rise. Delhi recorded a new single-day highest tally of 448 new cases in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases in Delhi to over 5,900. Delhi is the third worst hit state in the country after Maharashtra and Gujarat. 389 people who have in fact recovered from coronavirus were reported in the last 24 hours. 4 areas have been removed from the list of COVID-19 containment zones in Delhi on Thursday. With this, the total number of containment zones in the national capital stands at 83. Since the COVID-19 outbreak, a total number of 77,223 tests have been conducted all over Delhi. Now, the controversy over the alleged mishandling of the COVID crisis in West Bengal is raging on. Ruling TMC and the BJP are locking horns over the number of coronavirus cases in the state. The BJP has accused Mamata of fudging the numbers, while the Mamata government is targeting the centre for sending a central team which they claim was to snoop on them.
Big political war between the TMC and BJP over number of COVID-19 cases in West Bengal. After being accused of hiding COVID cases and fudging death figures, Mamata government has now divided the data into 2 categories. Cases with both COVID and comorbidity and those with just coronavirus. The centre maintains that 144 people have died in Bengal due to the virus till May 6th. But the state government says that only 72 people died of the virus and 72 others died due to comorbidity. The state also pegs the number of cases at 1,047 against centre's tally of 1,456. The BJP hit out at the Mamata government over highest mortality rate in India, which according to the Interministerial Central Team is 12.8%.
दुनिया में सबसे ज़्यादा देश में 4-4.5% है, दुनिया में 6 से 7% है, यहाँ 13 से 14% है मृत्यु दर. क्यों? इसको छिपाया जा रहा है.
The TMC meanwhile has given a strong rebuttal, saying that centre is maligning state machinery.
ऊपर से आप PPE मांगो, 100 मांगो तो 5 दे रहा है, RNA एक्सट्रैक्टर मांगो तो नहीं दे रहा है, आप मशीन मांगो तो नहीं दे रहा है, किट मांगो तो नहीं दे रहा है, कुछ भी नहीं दे रहा है और हमेशा स्टेप मदरली एटीट्यूड करते जा रहा है. ऊपर से यहाँ का जो माइग्रेंट लेबर है उनको भेजने के लिए भी बोल रहा है कि रेल का पैसा तुम दो.
So what are the real COVID numbers in West Bengal? Is the Mamata Banerjee government fudging numbers, or is BJP unfairly targeting the state? Is it all related to the state polls next year?
The pandemic has brought the entire world together but could not get the central government and the state government on the same platform. Call it the difference of opinion or the political rivalry, the differences are here to stay and out in open too. Even if the doctors have been complaining or the rivals which have been blaming, it is of course just beyond any battle could have ever been. With camera person Tapas Behri, this is Manogya Loiwal in Kolkata for India Today.
Now, India began its biggest ever repatriation exercise to bring back citizens who are stranded abroad. The first 2 Air India flights from the UAE, carrying a total of 363 Indian nationals, including 9 infants, landed in Kochi and in Kozhikode in Kerala late last night. A flight which took off from Delhi last evening to bring back 244 Indians from Singapore will land by noon today. Nearly 15,000 Indians stranded overseas due to coronavirus and the lockdown are expected to return on special Air India flights from 13 countries over a week's time. The evacuees upon arrival were screened and will be kept in 14-day quarantine. It's mandatory for them to register on the Arogya Setu app. Meanwhile, INS Jalashwa has reached the Maldives to bring back stranded Indians. INS Magar will also reach the Maldives on May 10th. Around 1,000 Indian citizens are stranded in the Maldives. Now, AIIMS Director Randeep Guleria says that the virus will hit its peak in India in the months of June and July. He said that the lockdown has had a huge impact in the containment of cases, but the peak of the pandemic is yet to come. The peak is in fact reached when the total number of cured cases exceeds the number of active ones. The curve will only start flattening after that. AIIMS Director added that the maximum cases are reported from hotspots where aggressive containment measures should be implemented. Meanwhile, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has claimed that the number of cases is on the rise as the government is conducting more tests now across the country.
Joining me right now is Dr. Randeep Guleria of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Sir, we're seeing the graph of COVID cases across the country only growing. Today we crossed the 50,000 mark as well of confirmed cases. To what extent will this keep growing, and the spike in numbers that we're seeing, what do you attribute that to, sir?
So it's right that the number of cases is increasing, but it's also right that if you look at the number of tests that we've done and look at it as a percentage, then we're more or less about the same. That we are around 4% or 4.5% tests are coming out to be positive. So increasing number of cases could also be related to more testing being done. But having said that, one would have liked to see that despite our large number of testing, the number of cases remain the same or starts coming down, which is not happening. So therefore, there is something that we need to be vigilant about, be more aggressive in our management strategy. And if you look at the cases, they're basically coming from very few areas. So we need to focus on these areas, see what we can do in terms of decreasing the number of cases from that area, those areas, aggressive planning. That will help to bring down the number of cases.
What do you, are you anticipating a peak in the cases so far? You're saying they're growing at a flat rate, but they're growing still. Are you anticipating a peak?
So there will be a peak at some point in time. How big the peak is something which time will only tell. When
are you?
So it is likely that it may occur somewhere in June or July, looking at whatever the modeling data people have made. This is based on modeling predictions that a lot of modeling specialists have done. But this may change depending upon how things pan out over the next few weeks.
So the coronavirus pandemic as well as the subsequent lockdown has hit everyone in some way or the other. But the migrant labourers have no doubt been affected the most. No work, no pay and hardly anything to eat, as well as being stranded in alien cities. That is how many of them were forced to spend the last month and a half. But now they seem to have decided to take things into their own hands and head back home. We get you all the details in this report.
This labour camp in Kalyan Nagar is where around 500 migrant labourers working in construction sector stay. But for all of them, there are just 150 rooms. Distressed and distraught, they have just one demand: to be allowed to go back home.
हमारा पहला डिमांड है माननीय योगी आदित्यनाथ जी से कि हम लोगों को सकुशल हमारे घर पहुंचाने का कष्ट करें। जिस प्रकार से विदेशों से अमेरिका, इंग्लैंड, जिस प्रकार से उन लोगों फ्लाइट द्वारा इशू कराकर उन लोगों को बुलाया गया है, उसी प्रकार से हम लोगों को ट्रेन की सुविधा दी जाए। नहीं ट्रेन की सुविधा है तो हम लोगों को यह कह दिया जाए कि आप लोग अपने पैसे से, अपने साधन से चले आएं।
Since there's been no work, they don't have any money left to pay room rent or buy anything to eat.
अभी तक सर 2 टाइम मिला है, 5 केजी चावल, 2 केजी आटा, 15 दिन में 2 बार मिला है, उसमें ½ लीटर ऑयल मिला है। सुविधा जो भी मिला हम लोग को 2 बार मिला है, 2 बार मिल्क मिला है, उसके अलावा हम लोग कुछ नहीं पाए हैं सर।
let down by their employers and angry with the state government for not helping them out, they protested at first. But now they have started the long journey back home on foot. Come rain or storm, nothing can make them stay in this city any longer.
झारखंड दूर है, आप बैंगलोर से झारखंड कैसे जाएंगे?
ऐसे ही जैसे यहाँ से निकल गए वैसे ही जाएंगे।
पूरा पैदल?
हाँ तो क्या करें?
महीना लग जाएगा?
लगने दीजिए, तो अब इसमें क्या है?
To make matters worse, Karnataka government's decision to stop trains to transport migrants to their native states had come as a shock, prompting the migrants to lose all hope in being repatriated.
खाने का भी नहीं है, न कुछ भी नहीं है।
मर जाएंगे भूख के लिए, ऐसा भी मरना है, रोड में चल के मरेंगे, और क्या करना है?
Mounting criticism and pressure from the opposition as well as migrants made for a rethink. The Karnataka government has now announced the restarting of special trains to send back the stranded migrants. Beginning Friday, the state government says it will run one train every day till May 15 to Bihar. These trains have been scheduled after receiving consent from Bihar government to send the labourers back to their homes. However, local authorities in Karnataka say that consent from UP, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, Manipur, Tripura, Odisha and West Bengal are still awaited.
Now, 3 youngsters in Mumbai have employed migrants to make face shields for COVID warriors. They put in their own money for this initiative, and here's more on that.
With a bunch of sponge sheets, scissors and elastic bands, these young people are busy making face masks. Meet Chrysen, Shane and Ardelia, the 3 Mumbai musketeers who've put together all their money and are making face masks for the city's needy. They've distributed around 19,000 such masks. At a time when migrant workers are walking thousands of kilometers to reach home, this trio has employed 15 workers. The migrants are being paid 2 rupees per face mask.
ये हमारा प्रॉपर काम नहीं है, मैं एक होटल मैनेजमेंट का कोर्स करता हूँ।
इससे थोड़ी बहुत जो काम कर रहे हो इससे थोड़ी बहुत कमाई हो रही है?
इससे थोड़ा कुछ सारा मिल रहा है।
It's not an easy task procuring raw material during the lockdown or even arranging for funding. But these 3 Samaritans have managed with the help of family, friends and some NGOs who distribute the masks.
So what we do is every time we are going out to buy material or in the nights, we just take a round in the car, me and my brother, and wherever we see police personnel and everything, we just give it to them so that they're using it, especially at Nakabandis. We did a round where we distributed to all police stations right from Bandra to Santa Cruz. We gave them all the entire mask. We gave around 300 to Bandra police station, around about 100 to Khar, and around about another 100 or so to Santa Cruz police station. On the way, we gave all the police personnel. So this is what we keep doing.
Bank balance nearly zero, but then realizing the social responsibility, they say that the target for currently is 19,000 and that's going to increase to around 50. Around 50, what is the next target?
As long as we have the orders coming in, we will continue because it's for a good cause, right?
As long as the orders keep coming in. What a fantastic way of thinking. With camera person Mahesh More, this is Pankaj Upadhyay in Mumbai reporting for India Today.
Now, a major gas leak at a polymer plant in Visakhapatnam on Thursday left 11 people dead and several critically injured. Those living near the plant in Gopalapatnam woke up gasping for breath, with children collapsing due to breathing difficulties. Here's how the horror unfolded yesterday.
People dropping like 9 pins, many gasping for breath. Children collapsing right in front of their elders. Visakhapatnam woke up to the sheer horror on Thursday. No sirens, no alarm bells. A gas leak at the LG Polymers factory in the coastal city of Andhra Pradesh caught its citizens unaware on Thursday. Styrene, a toxic gas, enveloped the entire neighborhood around 2:30 a.m. Defenseless and clueless, citizens didn't know what was happening to them for hours. The result? Many are dead, many more critical, fighting for their lives in city hospitals. What you see on your screens is scary. What we have edited out, scarier.
At around 4 a.m., we got up because of a severe smell in our areas. We immediately rushed to nearby villages, which is safer than our area. We started walking towards a safer place because we were facing severe smell since morning. My eyes are burning because of the smell and we are feeling a bit suffocated. That's why we decided to walk towards a safer place.
You can see that lots of people deployed here. The cops are deployed here to control the people. So this is where exactly in the morning where people were were falling down, and the cops and the DRF teams immediately rushed to the spot to rescue.
Help came late. Citizens were left to fend for themselves. People rushed for medical help in available vehicles. The healthcare facilities are overwhelmed as thousands have been exposed to the gas.
Like Bhopal gas tragedy, one of the biggest gas tragedy happened in Visakhapatnam. Inflammable gases like this pentane and ethylene oxide and benzene dioxide, these gases were blown out.
While the gas may not result in many fatalities, long-term exposure could affect the central nervous system and may even lead to cancer.
Some of these patients will require to be intubated and put on a ventilator. Many will just require oxygen therapy, and we have to monitor for their oxygen, respiratory rate and their CNS depression.
An investigation is underway to ascertain the exact cause of the gas leak. The gas leaked from a plant that was unattended due to the lockdown. Initial assessment points to malfunction in a valve. With Anusha Pupala, Bureau Report, India Today.
With that, we're slipping into a short break here on First Up. For all the latest news and updates of the day, and particularly on coronavirus, you can log on to our website indiatoday.in. You can also download the app to stay informed as you stay home and stay safe.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.